Hey everybody. Well, tomorrow will be my last day of vacation, so I'm trying to just kick back and relax. I've got basically everything done that I wanted to get done. And I just want to make this video for a couple things going on in the news. First of all, rest in peace, Gary Coleman. I just found out that Gary Coleman died. Everybody's talking about how mean he was. Well, I guess, he was a little mean to be such a little man, but I was reading online where he had dialysis every day of his life, so, I guess he's entitled to be a little bit crabby. But anyway, he was funny. I liked to watch him because he was funny. And he had a brain hemorrhage. That's sad. That's just so sad. But anyway, something else in the news. I was watching it last night on Nancy Grace. This woman, she tried to kill her two children, her 11-year-old daughter and I think the 13-year-old daughter. I think the 11-year-old is the one that died. She picked them up from their father's house and told them that she had a surprise for them. So she drove to this abandoned house off of Route something and took them in there, and then she stabbed them and cut their throats. The oldest one tried to protect the youngest one. The youngest one ended up dying. The oldest one almost died, but I think they was able to get to her and save her. But anyway, they played the 911 tape. And I was listening to that, and it was craziness. That woman called 911 and said, I just killed my kids. And the 911 operator says, excuse me? She said, I just killed my kids. And so the 911 operator asked her, well, where are you? She told her where she was. And I told her she was in an abandoned house under the underpass off of Route so-and-so, the house on the hill. And then the 911 operator, of course, was asking her, so what's your name, sweetie? She said, I'm not your sweetie. She said, no. She said, I don't want to tell you my name. And I'm not your sweetie either. And then she said, the woman said, bitch, call them. Are you calling them? And the 911 operator says, they're on their way. So the 911 operator kept talking to her, and the woman says, I have a knife. What should I do? Throw it away? She said, no, just keep the knife. So, so the woman was like, she said, one of them's dead. The other one's still alive. She said, so get somebody here. The other one's still alive, and she's begging for help, and I can't take it. She said, so get them here. Come on, hurry up now. Just so nonchalant, right like that. So, but the youngest girl did die. And it all, the whole thing was because of the fact that her husband had filed for divorce. That's why she did what she did. It's just craziness. It's madness. I never have ever in the entirety of my life, or since I've been a parent, ever entertained the thought of doing harm to one of my children or anybody else's child. I don't understand some people's way of thinking. I don't. But anyway, and that was just that was an odd thing to watch last night. But anyway, poor Gary Coleman. I know Gary Coleman was on divorce court back about 2 years ago, I think it was. Him and his wife was on divorce court, and he had an ugly wife. Now, I don't know if this is still the same woman he was married to. I guess it may be. But she was a redhead when they was on divorce court. And she said that their biggest problem was she wanted children, and he didn't want children. And he told the judge, he told her before they got married, he didn't want children. And he said she understood that well. The wife admitted, yes, he did tell her that, but she figured after they got married she could change his mind. And that's where all their problems stemmed. And he said she wasn't going to change his mind. He said he didn't want children for two reasons. He said he didn't want children because they would be genetically prone to have the disorders that he has suffered all his life with. And he said he didn't want to be the reason for somebody going through that, bring them into the world to have them have to go through that. And he said the second reason being he just didn't like kids. He said he didn't like kids when he was one. Well, at least he was honest. That reminds me of my son. That reminds me of Hotel Angel, Joe. Joe don't like kids either. He can't, I mean, we go to Walmart and somebody's kid will be crying and he'll just cringe. But seems like at Walmart or any place you go, just about anymore these days, the kids are just so out of control. It's ridiculous. They're running up and down the aisles. They're in the middle of the aisle. They're screaming. They're stomping. They're not, and then their parents are just standing there looking around at something. It's ridiculous. And the other day, a perfect example. When I came home the other day, I came home from work, and I came up the side street and come in the back way of the park back here, and the school bus had just let off God knows how many kids here in the park. There must be 30 or 40 kids. I don't know where all those kids come from. How do they all fit on that bus is what I want to know. But anyway, they all got off and they're walking down the roadway, and you know, a lot of them get picked up by their parents, and then their parents drive away, and some of their parents, you know, bring their younger siblings in strollers, and then these kids just walk right in the middle of the road. It's like following a pile of ducks because they're just walking. I literally had to toot my horn, and then they turn around and look at me and walk real slow over to the side of the road. I'd have whipped my kids' ass if they ever acted like that. This just shows a total lack of respect. They have no respect for anything or anybody. Yet one day it's not going to be a nice driver like me. You got to watch out for the crazy people over there. Somebody's going to say, I'm going to show them they can't walk on the road no more, and plow through them. You know there's crazy people out there like that. People ought to tell their children to do better than what they do. That makes me crazy. I love my children. I'm glad they're grown though. I'm glad they're grown. I don't think I could do it again. My kids were pretty good though. But anyway, well, that's about all I got to talk about right now. That's nothing else going on in the news. Basically, I'm just babbling. That's all I'm doing. I'm just babbling, and I don't even know if I'm going to post this. I'm going to watch it back, and then I'll see if I want to post it. But anyway, if I do post it, that's why you're watching it right now. Until next time, bye-bye.